what really happened on the 22-2 portal was a literal clearing of the path. It's like I'm going around on one of those space hoppers at the moment. Hello, my name is Lucy Davis and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all extremely well this Monday, as this video is going out in my normal slot of the Lucy Davis live at 5 p.m. UK time. Now, as you can see, I am still on the road. I'm actually at a friend's house. I've been here for a couple of days, just having a little bit of time out, respite, recuperation, and I am back on the road tomorrow, which is Monday, which is obviously why I can't be with you guys. Now, as you can tell by my attire, it is extremely beautiful where I am. And I've been enjoying so much of the environment, but you can also probably hear in my voice, I've been suppressing some of my truth, and my goodness gracious me, I do get a little bit croaky from time to time, and I'm doing the energetics around that before you all say, Lucy, you need to look at where you're not speaking your truth. Trust me, my truth was shut down about a week ago, and it's been very, very difficult to share that perspective. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as I step through this video today, because the energies are wild right now, which is why this video today is going to be all about the energies, how they are showing up in our lives, how we are navigating them. And I'm talking about the energies in the last week. We have had so many, and I mean so many profound energies, from the 22-2 portal to the full moon, into what is going to be an extremely powerful week, as we have got the 29th of February just a few days away. And what that means is the final piece of the puzzle of the energy work that I have been doing is going to be rubber stamped, and we're going to be stepping forwards into a whole new vibrational frequency from that moment forwards. Now, don't get excited. It doesn't mean everything's going to automatically be a-okay, and we're just going to be living the dream from here. You know, as with anything, it tends to cause a bit of chaos before we get the calm. So I just want you guys, I'm sorry, I wish I could promise you that in the next couple of days it will all be over and we will be home and dry and living in peace and harmony. But I'm not going to tell you fibs at all. Excuse me. You might hear me do that a few times, so I apologize for that in advance. Now, ladies and gents, we have got some amazing, amazing things that are taking place right now, but nothing is more amazing than the shifts that will take place at Soul School in Bristol on the 16th and 17th of March. So in just a few weeks from when I am recording this video. Now, Soul School in March is going to be very much about reactivating the soul back to truth. And that means it's going to be in alignment with the work that I have been doing globally, which has been very much around clearing karma, trauma, in the words that I normally use, and also bringing the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine back online. This is a very, very important focus for this Soul School, because all of the work that I have been doing around the world has been to bring the balance back, which is why we have so many men not coping right now. And I'm going to talk about this towards the end of the video. So gents, please do not think this is a witch hunt. The masculine energy has been shaken to the core at the moment, and we are literally seeing the authenticity. Now, what's fascinating is I've had so many personal situations in the last week, literally one just before I started recording this video, actually, of men literally verbal diarrheaing and not coping. And it was so interesting because I was getting a message from a man that follows me about a particular subject and asking for assistance. And then I was getting another man who, excuse me, was messaging me that was like, it was like they were balancing each other out. One was in massive amounts of trauma, and the other one was like, thank you so much for what you've been doing. So I'm going to come back to that at the end of this video. Men, please know this should help you navigate what's going on. Ladies, it is not time to start finger pointing at the men. What we need to be doing here is holding space for them in the knowledge that they are going through what I'm calling a collapse. And we are really asking them to level up right now. And again, There are many men out there that can't, so they run, they ghost. That's the behavior. Like, we have a literal split going on at the moment. But ladies and gents, before we go there, I want to share something about what happened this time last week. I was driving along a road this time last week, and just looping back to Soul School, actually. If you check out the description field below, you can buy your tickets there. They are going like hotcakes, ladies and gents. There's probably a handful of tickets left at the time when I checked this. So please, please, please do go there. We limited attendees this time because we didn't want it to be too big. We want you guys to have enough space to lay down and all the rest of it. So please do go over there and get your tickets, because if you don't get them, first and foremost, you won't be able to do some of the pre-work that I've set you. But secondly, they're going to be gone. So please, please do head over, and trust me, after a weekend of the energy work that I have done and what I'm bringing back and the codes that I've got, then, you guys are going to be missing out on an absolute treat. We've got people flying in from all over the world to come to this seminar. So please, please, please do not miss out. Ladies and gents, the scholarships have now closed as well. You will be hearing about that this week, which is super exciting. Anyway, enough about that. So this time last week, I was driving down a road in the place where I was visiting, and I was actually going on my way to support somebody that I know with an event that they had put on. And as I was driving along the road, fork lightning literally came down in front of me. And I'd been asking for a sign earlier on that day, and I was like, give me a sign, give me a sign. And then this fork lightning came down, and I was like, okay, right, the world has officially split. We need to recognize this. The world has split. Now, what's interesting since that day is it's very obvious. The men and the women who are doing the work, taking ownership, stepping forwards in the higher vibration, against those that are choosing to stay in the discomfort of the comfort of knowing the outcome of living in this loop. We are there. We are at that point. It is official. It has happened. There is no going back from that. And since then, it has just perpetuated and perpetuated and perpetuated, really rising that up. Now, what's really fascinating is somebody that I was with last weekend actually said to me, they were explaining about a lady that they know. And, she's a spiritual mentor, and she's this and she's that. She's a coach and all the rest of it. But she's really, really not walking her talk. Now, this person was sharing it with me. I have no judgment. I don't know this person. It's none of my business. But what this person said to me was, it seems to be happening a lot. And I agree with this. Authenticity is vital in these now moments. If you are a bit of a butt kicker like myself, or you are a little bit angry, or if you are a little bit soft or emotional or whatever, just lean into that more. Because what people are doing is they're like, no, that's not me, that's you. No, that's not me, that's you. But it's that person that is being inauthentic. It doesn't matter if we're a bit kick-ass. Like, I admit it. I'm brutal. I am so straight down the line. When it comes down to helping humanity shift, I'm so straight down the line with it. Now, people love it or hate it. There is so many people around the world who get triggered by what I talk about. Literally, they'll come to me, they'll ask my advice. I'll give my advice because they've asked for it. And then the next thing, well, who are you to comment? And they turn it back on me. And I'm like, whoa, this is really interesting. This is really interesting. And again, this is just showing the wounds that people have right now. This is showing that people are not able to get balanced in the energies. And this is the literal split, like I keep saying to you guys, that is taking place around the world. There is a world that is going to be more healed. I'm not saying completely healed, because I don't know if that's even a thing. There's going to be a world that is more healed against a world that is probably more technology driven and distractions driven and, living in the loops driven. Now, like I say, I've had some wild conversations in the last week, conversations that I never, ever, ever thought would take place. I have received apologies that I never thought would take place. I have received love from people. I have received people reaching out to me, apologizing for things. And I'm like, wow, where is this coming from? But then I've also had people not taking ownership. people that you really thought would and could, and they didn't, and they wouldn't, and they won't. And it's just proving that the attachment and the expectation that we've got on each other, on people, on things, it's time for that to be collapsed once and for all. Most people on the planet aren't authentic. They say they'll behave in a particular way. They say that they'll treat you in a certain way. But as soon as you call them out on something, or as soon as you put a boundary in place, they change, they get aggressive, they ghost you, they run. The healing is coming to the surface, and people have to be honest with themselves. Abandonment wounds are massive right now. Massive. We're getting our heckles up. We're getting embarrassed. We're getting shameful. You know, even in some of the kids' behavior, like I've been around a lot of children recently and, you know, in the last couple of weeks, and it's really intriguing witnessing it. But then there are other children that are being so beautifully vulnerable and so beautifully communicative, and it has just been absolutely incredible. And I'm actually going to do a conscious parenting discussion with somebody, because I think it will be a game changer. Now, I might be doing it on my radio show, which is Level Up with Lucy, and that's on Kind of Sound Radio, and it's on there every other Wednesday. And I am on this Wednesday, guys, just so that you know which Wednesday I'm on and which Wednesday I'm not. And I'm fingers crossed going to get that done in, you know, for that show, because what I've witnessed, and literally this is people that have said, well, you taught me how to do this. I've had that a lot recently. A lot of parents have said to me, you've taught me everything that I know, because I'm in awe of some of these parents. I don't know how I've taught them, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll ask her, because I'll ask her the question. So there are massive shifts taking place, and this is all energy driven. It's all energy driven. Everything is coming back to the truth of the energy that we are residing in right now. And like I say, people are either coping with it or they're not. A lot of people are not coping with the fact that they cannot blag people anymore. They cannot use their words anymore. It's their actions. It's them showing up. It's them apologizing. You know, I've done a lot of videos on apologizing recently. There are a few parts to an apology. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Acknowledging what you have done. So I am so sorry for the way that I spoke to you, the way that I treated you, the way that I betrayed you, the way that I was disloyal to you, like whatever it is, and give the reasons why, so they know that you know what you've done. The second piece of that is, please, can you forgive me? What do I need to do to put things in place so that you can forgive me? What is it that you need to hear, see, feel, to trust that, you know, that you can forgive me? And then the third piece of it is, how am I going to change my behavior? What do I need to do to change my behavior? What do I need to do to appease you? How am I going to put this right, essentially, but then show you that my patterns have changed? That's the real way to apologize. Not just oh, I'm sorry. That's not okay. Not okay. So I want to go back a couple of days first, if that's okay, ladies and gents, because I think it's really important that we have a discussion around the 22-2 portal. Now, 22-2, believe it or not, is my older sister's birthday. So I'm 22, she's 22-2. Written in the stars, right? It was written in the stars what my family was going to be like. So, excuse me. This portal, I didn't do a specific video on it, and I probably should have done, so I apologize for that. But what really happened on the 22-2 portal was a literal clearing of the path. So what they gave me on 22-2, and I was like, I literally couldn't do a video because I've been flying and I've been going to new places and all the rest of it. So, and obviously doing the energy work. So it's been really challenging to actually do this video, which is why I decided to put it out. And I know this is a bit retrospective, but do you remember that we're still in the energies? So the universe on the 22nd of February literally threw a bomb into your life. The universe is removing everything and anything that is nonsense or misaligned to you anymore. Like, enough's enough. We're not doing this anymore. You want to heal, you want to level up, right? This is gone. You can't have this person draining you. You can't have this person putting on you constantly and not doing anything about it. You can't have this person trying to financially, use you financially, or whatever the situation is. I'm not saying these are things that are going on in my life. I'm just saying that these are topics. Okay. So I would like you to look at, if anything happened to you around this time, and remember, we're still in that portal. Do remember that it's happening for your greatest good. The reason it's happening for your greatest good is because it's making way for what you deserve. Now, what they gave me is things are being, separated and shown, even though it's really painful, because the love that is deserved is honest, truthful, respectful, loyal. And I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. It might hurt right now. And I say to you, I've had so many people reach out to me because they've had arguments with their girlfriends or their boyfriends. They've had this go on, that go on, and they're like, I just don't know what's happening right now. I don't know why this is occurring. And it is because there's a beautiful butterfly outside the window. The beautiful sign, if ever there was one, hey? We are shifting to the destiny that we deserve. We are shifting to our ultimate destiny. So everything is being removed to support that. Now, something that I do always, and I'm going to share this with you guys, when I'm going through tough times, when I'm going through things that really do not make sense, I breathe through the pain. I find myself in a space whereby I am making sure that I'm consciously breathing in such a beautiful, deep way. And I would suggest that you guys do the same. I literally live in my journal when I'm going through pain as well. Literally live in my journal. Now, as you can tell by my voice, and I'm a little bit husky, that I have been suppressing my truth. I haven't been able to say the things that I wanted to say. I have been shut down and pushed away and told to get over things. And this is a recurring healing for me, and it's really quite interesting that it came up, like I say, a week or so ago. New chapters require the old baggage being removed. Now, the way that this channeled through me was very interesting because obviously you guys know I'm writing my second book right now. And this is a very, very, very powerful book, very different to the first one. Like, this is proper journey. There is no heaviness of the party girl. There is no heaviness of the baggage or anything like that. It is literally the connection and the journey of the spiritual awakening, of the path to, becoming what I am today. So like I say, the new chapters require the old ones being removed or at least stepped away from. And the way that we do that is we have to realign, we have to recalibrate. We are creating new times right now. Much more powerful times are happening and much more powerful times are coming to you if you are going to choose it for yourself. You can't keep going back to what hurt you and thinking that it's going to help you move forwards. It's just impossible. Someone or something has to be brave about that. Soulmate contracts are being revisited to highlight things that you've ignored. So the way that I'm going to interpret this for you guys in very, very basic speak is we're being shown the red flags that we annoyed or we're ignored, more to the point. We're being revisiting those things. We have to. Because some of us have created trauma bonds with our soulmates. Some of us have put up with things that we should never have put up with. And remember, I truly believe we've got multiple soulmates on the planet. We've only got one twin flame, but we've got multiple soulmates. And it all depends on the level of the journey that we're on. Now, some people say they're prepared to do the work, but they're not. They'll talk a good talk, but they won't actually see it through. So if there's anything like that going on, and maybe you're starting to evolve, maybe you're starting to vibrate a little bit higher, maybe you're really investing in yourself right now, going off to do a meditation retreat or something like that, please know that anybody that's not willing to work on themselves, not willing to look at themselves in the true light of day in which they actually reside, just don't be surprised if they get bumped out of the way. Everything is coming to the surface. Like I've been saying for a long time, the truth is coming to the surface. Do not be surprised if in this energy you have to deal with confusion, big thread of confusion right now. Miscommunication, whopper. and imbalances in relationships. There are so many imbalances in relationships, and people are just starting to recognize it, what they've put up with, what they shouldn't have put up with, whether things feel right, whether things feel aligned. Soulmates are being activated. You know, I've had somebody reach out to me recently that in the last week that was absolutely a soulmate, absolutely a soulmate. And they've gone through a journey. They've literally gone through a journey, and they're like, I need you to just make this make sense for me. Doesn't mean you have to go back to these people. These are tests. These are you showing that your karma is not that of hurt or pain or animosity. And what you'll realize is that certain people are being moved out of the way so you can reactivate that person, so you can move forwards. Like I say, this doesn't mean that you go backwards, doesn't mean that you have to get back with these people, or if you've never been in a relationship with these people that you have to be in a relationship. Like, it's nothing like that. It's just we're being activated. People are going back to the place that they know that they are, you know, are being asked to level up. We're being tested and reignited. Sounds bloody exciting, isn't it? I'm stepping through so much healing at the moment. It's wild. Like, I'm like, hey, hang on a minute. You do realize I'm doing the energy work for you. I don't need to be being tested left, right, and centre do. But it's just the way that it is. Why on earth would I be adverse to it? Why on earth would I be left off the hit list? You know, I'm the one creating these shifts and making Gaia purge and all the rest of it. Why on earth do I think that I get away with it? I don't. Somebody said something to me the other day and they were like, wow, like my life has been so perfect. And I'm like, doesn't matter on a physical level what your life's like. How are you on a healing level? How are you on an authenticity level? It doesn't matter if you've got all the money in the world. It doesn't matter if you've got any of that stuff going on. It's about being authentic. And they were like, oh, I get it. Such a big difference. Such a big difference. Independence was challenged under the 22-2 portal. Are you sufficient on your own? More important, what are you bringing to the party? And my goodness, was this a thread? I am very certain as to what I bring to the party. Now, I don't bring everything to the party because that's physically impossible. There are people that do things so much better than myself. That's why I employ those people, or I, you know, let those people come in and do exactly that. Encourage them to do that piece of the relationship or whatever, because it's not my thing. But I'm very, very certain as to what I bring to the party. And I'm also very certain as to what I'm not going to bring to the party. So look at that in your life. Look at how this has panned out over the last couple of days. The 22-2 portal leading into the full moon, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, has brought a massive, massive manifestation window. We can shift dreams to reality. We can create abundance. We can really enhance the differing vibrations. Now, what that means is if you and your partner are on totally different vibrations, you'll either shift to become more aligned, whether that means one of you drop down and one of you step up, or things will be removed. And that's happening whether we want it or not. It's as simple as that. Trust what people show you. Trust that it's actually them at their core. If you trust and you surrender and you step forwards, you will literally quantum leap into a totally different life that you will love. But it's difficult leaving the old baggage behind. It's really, really, really difficult, especially if you've been doing it for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You know, it's bad enough after a few months. But how much do you want to experience these quantum leaps? Like, I don't know about you guys, but where I am, it's literally like hopping, hoppity hop, 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 hop. You know, it's like I'm going around on one of those space hoppers at the moment. I'm just bouncing from one to the other. And I'm like, whoa, that's not what it looked like yesterday. Whoa, that time's gone faster. Whoa, that time's gone slower. Literally, it's like living in an alternative world, I think it's fair to say. And something that I've noticed a lot of in the last few days is, you know, the soul behind the human. Like, I'm quite good when I'm walking down the streets or whatever. Yes, I get to see people's souls, but I can also acknowledge the human. Not been so easy over the last few days. I'm seeing the interdimensional beings, you know, I'm seeing the star seeds, the light workers, the soul missions, the depression, the all of that stuff going on. Everything is required to be seen, felt, and dealt with at this time. We can no longer run. We can no longer hide. It's time to feel everything. And I mean everything. If you are angry, you need to feel it. If you are upset, you need to feel it. No more fake love bombing. People know. People know the vibration behind truth now. And this is why there's so many arguments taking place. On top of that, there is this new surge of intuition coming online. So we know, even though we don't know, why do I feel you're lying to me? Why do I feel this is not the truth? And then somebody may come in and validate the fact that you were actually, you know, just trusting your intuition. And actually, that was the case. Resting patterns are irregular right now. I don't know about you guys, but there's been days where I've had to lay down in the middle of the afternoon. There's been nights that I've been up really late, and there's been nights that I've had to go to bed really early. Like, our resting patterns is very different right now because of this high activity that is out there in regard to the energy. There's lots of different light activity taking place. There is, you know, activity in the sky. There is activities in the cosmos. It's fascinating what's happening. And then obviously I'm shifting everything to do with Gaia. Now, just talking about Gaia, if you have noticed anything going on the left-hand side of your body in the last few days, the last, you know, week, please know that this is Gaia purging. I have had a couple of things going on the left-hand side, actually, and it's been quite interesting because when I asked the question of where are these coming from, like which of the powerful women in my life, or the you know the important women in my life, has this come from, and it's Gaia. So let me know in the chat box below if any of you have had anything going on your left side. Now, one of my girlfriends, she has had a couple of things going on the left side, and I'm like, wow, you know, it sounds as if you're purging on behalf of also. We must recognize there is also a massive surge of ascension right now. And, you know, somebody actually said to me, do you think that your throat could be ascension? And yes, absolutely. You know, we really are shifting the vibrational frequency. But I also know that I shut my voice down a week ago. I shut my voice down a week ago, and I sat on a couple of things and pondered them for a few days. And then one of the things I actually spoke out about, and I got shut down and named and shamed and bullied and, you know, all of that nastiness, just purely by sharing my voice. So of course that's that. But then the other one I sat on for 5 or 6 days before I actually responded to it. So again, I'm suppressing my voice, I'm holding it in. However, on this occasion, it was very important that I did that, because at the moment when I wanted to speak up, it would not have come from a space of heart driven, if that makes sense. There was a lot of a charge behind it, and sometimes you've got to make that decision. And you know what, you know, I know a lot of people that are very, very sick right now with colds, flus, you know, what they call COVID, and that kind of stuff. And I've been around these people, and I've been absolutely fine. It's just literally this little croaky thing that's been going on. So, and I'm just sending her so much healing and giving her so much love. And, you know, I'm allowing her, me to speak my truth now, which is really beautiful. Okay, so that was the 22 portal, very powerful. You know, and as you guys know, so many of you tagged me in it. You're like, oh, it's your day today. And absolutely, you know, this month of February is such a powerful month for me personally, because I am all about the twos. You know, I had a lady like check out all of my numerology recently, and she was just like, have you ever realized how linked you are to the two? And I was like, I just sent her my Instagram profile, and she was like, wow, okay, yes, you do know. Because it is a big deal for me, and it's not because it's my birthday. It's like literally everything in my life comes back to the twos. It's very, very intriguing. So let's talk about the full moon. So it's full moon on the 24th of February, and I know I've done a separate video for that, so please do go and check that out if you haven't watched it yet, because we're in the full moon energy for about a week or 10 days after the actual peak of the full moon. Now, if you haven't seen it, it is massive. It is massive. Now, earlier on in the month when it was at, I think it's the third quarter, it was so bright orange. It was absolutely wonderful. However, these energies that came off of the moon yesterday were so powerful, and it was almost like an extra catapult to really looking at what we know, love, and deserve for our future. It's such a beautiful period of time right now. I feel so, so, so grateful for being able to live this experience of the full moon. Now, if you're anything like me, the crystals that I had, and, you know, travel with quite a few crystals. They were all lined up under the moon energy. They are all lined up in the sun today. So they've really, really been blasted to make sure that they've got all of the energy within them, so that we can obviously step forwards for the rest of this trip. Now, if you haven't done that, it's not too late. Don't worry about it. The moon energy, like I say, is still going to be very, very powerful. But what's also happening with this is that we are seeing lots of shifts out there in the cosmos, because we are on a go faster now. You know, we really, really are on a go faster. And by default of what's happening with that is, you know, the energies are becoming more profound because we have to shift. We're in a massive healing window, as I say in the full moon video. You know, this healing journey is happening so quickly. It's happening at such a rate. And by default of what's happening with this is because I have, you know, been in a position whereby I'm very lucky in the sense that I've been able to see the divine feminine shifts and the divine masculine shifts. You know, in the last week, like I say, I'm quite surprised at the amount of men that have, you know, I'm talking like the last week, 10 days, the amount of men that have been caught out lying, cheating, hurting, betraying, being disloyal, all sorts of things like that. Like, it's literally come to the surface. But then on the flip side of that, there's also been a lot of men that have gone, I'm really sorry. And this isn't just in my life. This is just the consensus of what is being sent to me. The divine masculine energy is being rattled to the core right now. And that alpha males are not coping. They are running. They are hiding. They are ghosting. They are manipulating. They are not taking ownership. I have so many men around me that are not coping with the energy. And I don't mean in close proximity. I just mean people that message me, people that have emailed, people that have asked for help, people that are asking for coaching, things like that. They're just not coping. Because we are in a literal period. Like I said earlier, that fortnight lightning last Saturday, I was shown like we've split. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My video just went a bit funny, so I had to quickly stop it. Okay, so the true qualities of divine masculine. In fact, let's look at um the areas of how a wounded masculine shows up. So the wounded masculine energy shows up as aggressive, easily offended, literally cannot take feedback. Okay, it's like, no, that can't be possibly be about me. It's all your fault. It's that finger pointing. No, 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 that was you, wasn't me. Competitive. Now, there is a healthy level of competitiveness, and then there is an overly competitive. The wounded masculine comes from a space of ego. Now, remember, when I talk about ego, it's hurt, it's pain, it's shame, it's abandonment. It's, you know, all of these areas of where there's hurt and there's upset and there's, you know, shame and resentment and guilt. Defensive, over controlling, selfish, materialistic, stuck in the head and justifies everything about, well, it's this or it's that, you know, rather than going, you know what, yeah, you're right. I'm allowing my mind to run away with me, or I'm allowing my mind to make the decisions. The wounds show up in the masculine as spiritually disconnected. Now, there are a lot of people out there that are projecting that they are connected spiritually, but actually what they're doing is they're just using that to, what's the word I would like to use? You know, nurture relationships with females on that. Now, it's not just females doing, men doing that, by the way, it's women doing it too. Now, please don't think this is a finger pointing exercise to the men. It's just, it's very prevalent right now that the masculine energy is struggling. And I would like you guys to comment and share if you know, if you've seen, or indeed if you are one, because I've had a lot of men reaching out to me saying, literally, I'm not coping right now. So the true divine masculine is this: encouraging. They will encourage you and encourage themselves beautifully. It's not self-sabotage. It's not self-loathing. It's not a lack of self-love. They encourage themselves and they encourage their divine feminine or whoever it is around them. Protection. Massive, massive, true divine masculine quality. Inspired, like you're inspired. You take action based on being inspired. You have clear communication. You mess up, you apologize instantly. You're responsible of your words. You don't talk a good story and then behave a completely different way. You are clear and concise, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. You are aligned to the work that you are doing. This is a big, big, big wound where the masculine is concerned. Honest and humble. You can be the most wealthy man on the planet and still be humble. You can be the most successful person and still have a beautiful level of humility. Express emotion without going into a wounded feminine. Baby, I'm hurting because. Not, wah, I can't cope, I'm scared, I'm fearful, I'm wah. That's, you know, and I'm sorry to be a bit dramatic there, but that's not the divine masculine. Being able to share emotions from a space of clear articulation is very powerful. Projecting on someone that you're scared, you're hurt, you're fearful is not healthy. Disciplined. I'm sorry, but the most sexy thing that you can find in a man is discipline, and somebody who is driven to succeed, driven to provide, driven to get aligned to what they got sent here to do, driven to connect to their spiritual purpose, driven to uplift and support and really, really look after the energies of the true divine masculine and also the divine feminine. It's about holding space. Now, the way that I explain to people in my programs, when I talk about divine feminine, divine masculine, and like I say, this is not a witch hunt for the masculine right now. Like, I don't know why the masculine is being hit right now, but I am witnessing it. Like, I am witnessing it with my own eyes. I have seen people that I'm like, where's this come from? You know, normally you're good, you're up together, but all of a sudden you've just gone like this. And like I said, just before I jumped on and did this video recording, somebody reached out to me based on their relationship. And like, I was really shocked. this person has told me that, you know, their partner, their ex-partner has been going through some stuff and yada, yada, yada. And I was kind of like, God, I wouldn't see this. I wouldn't see this. But then it started being projected on me. And I was like, Lucy, you're being shown what you need to be shown. And I just said, thank you so much for sharing all of this. But now I'm going to encourage you to go and speak to her about it, because this is not healthy. I'm not going to be bought into this. I'm putting boundaries in place and nip that conversation in the bud. Now, people are projecting right now, especially on people like myself that are out there, especially on coaches and things like that. Now, the thing is, like, I know that everybody brings something to me because I need to hear it, I need to see it, I need to feel it, I need to go back and look at where I've done that in the past or where I'm doing it right now. It's very, very important that we take that ownership. So that's what I do. I'm like, wow, thank you for bringing this to me. Right, which element of this do I need to look at? And then I go and do the work. There's very few people out there. And what's happening with some of the coaches that these people are going to, they're verbal diarrheaing on them. And then they're getting into a bit of a spat because it's kind of like they're triggering them and they're triggering them. Do you get what I mean? And it just ends up in a very, very unhealthy spat. Now, on the flip side of this, gents, and I would really like you to stay and listen to this little bit, is I am seeing that there is a total other side to this as well. So there is a big portion of the men that are falling to their knees right now. They're not coping. But then there is a massive group of men that are rising up. And again, I've had a few men do it in the last few days where they've gone, what is it with this alpha male and the muscles and the this and the that, which kind of makes them devoid of taking ownership and recognizing that actually kindness and softness and love, without being overly emotional, because remember, that's wounded feminine, and over the top with these things, like, what is it? So, and then I have literally had an apology that I never, ever, ever expected to get in my lifetime, ever. So this is big shifts where the masculine is concerned, big shifts. Men, I don't want you to think that we're hunting you. I just would really like to remind you that we need you and that we love you and that we really, really do hope that on some level that you are with us on this journey. I get it. It's so easy to distract by going to the pub or watching the football or playing sport or getting drunk or going and watching porn or going and having sex with random people. Like, I get it's easy to do that. But all you're going to be doing is continuing to suppress and hold yourself back and, create a life that is not in alignment with you. And then you're going to have to come back and do this work at some point. You're going to have to. So my recommendation would be, take the time to do it now. Allow yourself to do it now. Allow yourself to feel into it now. Allow yourself to level up now. Go and apologize to the people that you need to apologize to. Go and love on the people that, that maybe you pushed away. Go and put things right so that your karma is no longer being bamboozled. And by the way, that video, I'm still getting mad feedback on it, the one from last week. If you haven't watched it, please do go and watch it. Like, everybody seems to love that video. The feminine is rising because we have to bring the balance back to this world. So the feminine has to rise, and it's rising at a rate of knots. And trust me, like I say, in the next few days, I'm going to be doing some huge work to just bring back the balance and realign and allow things to be exactly where we need them to be. How long that's going to take to manifest and actually play out in the real world, I don't know. I've done my bit. I've done my bit. But by default of this, it seems to be wherever I'm going, and the more that I'm shifting and the more that I'm raising the feminine, the men, whether that's alpha, whether that's wounded, whether that's masculine, like, it's up to you to decide on that. But it seems like the men are struggling a lot more. than the women are. Like the women are feeling the energies and they're feeling the shift and they're like, God, I need to lie down, or I need a rest, or I need to do this, or I need to do that, or I'm getting sick. But it's the men that are really not balanced right now. And we need you to be balanced. We want you to be balanced. We're here to help you. We want to nurture you so that you're grounded. We want to love on you. These shifts, these times that we are living in right now, ladies and gents, they are so intense. If you do not know how to get through this period of time, please get yourself to soul school. You will be around your soul family. You will be around people who can help shift these energies within you. You will be around, like, literally immersed in meditations and love and healing and, you know, coaching and all the rest of it for 2 whole days. Now, I'm going to put it out here, right in this video, right here and right now. I have committed to running a soul school in Australia in June. You've heard it here first. I am working with somebody, very sweet soul, thank you, you know exactly who you are, who is organising a venue over on the east coast of Australia, which will be Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast kind of area. So it's easy to fly into. And we are going to do that in June. I don't know what date yet, so please don't hold me to a date right now. But if you are in and around Australia, or if you can get to the East Coast or whatever relatively easily, then please do know, if you want to come along to Soul School, we are going to be putting on an event in June of 2024. As long as the universe allows that to take place. So there is a high-level date for your diary, and I will give you more information on that. The best way to keep up to date with this information will be the weekly woo. The link to my newsletter, that is, by the way, the link to that is literally in the description field below. So if you want to hear about when I'm going to be in America, when I'm going to be in Australia, when the next ones are going to be in the UK, when Soul School for Children is going to be available, you must be on my newsletter, because I forget to talk about that stuff here. Like, I'm not very good at that advertising sales stuff. I'm just rubbish at it. I'm here to help you guys shift. People have always said to me, you do realize if you spoke about things, more people would buy them. And I'm like, yeah, but I forget. It's just the way that I am. So please, please, please do, if you're feeling a little bit of out of kilter and you can get to the UK, make sure that you come to Soul School in March. It will be a game changer. For those of you that are waiting to hear about Soul School scholarships, you will be hearing in the next day or so. I just need my assistant to come out to you guys. But the decisions have been made, I believe. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to end it there for today. Please, please, please do let me know. How are you feeling? How are you in these energies? How are you doing with the men in your life? Have you noticed that your work colleagues, your partners, your loved ones, your husbands, whatever, are really struggling right now? Are you in a position like me, who's had a number of different people from the past reaching out and looking for help and looking for grounding and looking to apologize and really, really set the record straight? Let me know in the description, or not in the description, in the chat box below, ladies and gents, and I will come back to you as soon as I possibly can. Ladies and gents, fingers crossed, I'm going to be live with you next Monday. I think I'm going to be back live with you at that point, which will be amazing. I've missed you guys to the moon and stars, and I would really, really, really like to do a beautiful session with you live. I might even, I'm filming, yeah, I might even have a cheeky little one in between now and then, but I will keep you posted on that. Guys, mwah, I love you to the moon and stars. Have the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, and I will see you on the flip side. I love you guys loads. Take care.